Good evening and welcome to the Footy Corner. And I'm Sparks. And while you're coming in here, please make sure you're liking, subscribing, and hitting that notification bell for the notifications. We've got three wonderful guests for you. We've got Bearded in, who's from Trinidad, are you?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So, how's your day?
My day is going good.
Good. What time is it over there?
It's now 3:34.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We're getting to the point where we're going to go to sleep soon. But, you've got a long way to go to get to that point. But, nice to welcome in. He's a United fan. So, we're trying to have a bit of a cross section of fan bases as well. So, we get different takes as well. But we got Underrated as well. First time on the channel. Welcome in. Thank you.
Thanks very much for having me.
Yeah, welcome in anytime. We are looking for more guests as well, but there we go. Ryan, he's another debutant on the channel. Welcome in. How are we?
Better than I was 48 hours ago. More relaxed, more calm, getting on with it. But in general, yeah, happy to be on. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. Well, you're welcome anytime. You're welcome anytime, man. And great to have you on. He does his own channel as well. I will put that in the description when we're completed, because I haven't. I should be more together with it, but I'm not. But there we go. Let's go with that first, then, Ryan. What you're saying with your with the last 48 hours? What's troubling you?
Something I called on deadline day. Literally. I was like, on my channel, Liam, literally decided we want to do a deadline day, so it turned into a normal podcast in the end. But we all sat there, and I sat down and I said, we're basically relying on Havertz not to get injured for the next 4 or 5 months. And based on the record we've got this season, very naive. And within 2 weeks later, he's bit us in the arse, and here we are, no striker. We're relying on the short kings of Sterling. Ethan Wanyeri, who's just coming through this season and doing his thing, and Trossard. That's our attacking options. Unless he wants to dip into the academy. Yay. Get that Liverpool red bow tie and put it on the trophy now for Liverpool.
I don't necessarily think that whatever we did, I think it's pretty much there anyway, though, isn't it, for Liverpool?
Yeah, but we would have had a fight in terms of making them work for it. Now it's just like, may as well just give it to them on a plate.
Yeah. I mean, there is a bit of that, but we would only got one player as well, and we'd probably still be short as well, to be honest with you.
Oh, definitely, but at least it would have been something. Other than
we're
now with nothing, and it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I have to disagree with that one. I mean, I think Havertz controls a game, and a lot of people disagree with me, but his hold-up play, his taking the ball down, his bringing other players into play, it's Giroud-esque, and I think he's going to be a huge loss, because I think we're going to lose an ability to control games with him being out.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he's a workhorse for the team. I don't think he's very unselfish, isn't he? And he doesn't care really if he gets pelters for not doing necessarily what he should be doing and sticking the ball in the back of the net. He's already doing so much for the team that goes unrecognised by a lot of people.
I mean, Beard, what's your take on this? I think he's everything United fans wished Højlund was.
If I'm honest with you, I haven't rated Havertz since he left Germany.
Really?
Nope.
Okay. Interesting take.
Yeah, I loved him in Germany, but if I'm honest with you, I haven't rated Havertz since he left Germany. Hello?
Really?
Nope.
Okay. Interesting take.
Yeah. Am I on a loop?
Possibly.
Do you not think that he has improved since coming to Arsenal compared to his Chelsea time? Even if it's slight, it's something more than what you're getting at Chelsea.
No, he had a bit of a rough time when he came to you guys, right? Wasn't he on a drought or something like that?
Yeah, it was the penalty at Bournemouth that turned it round for him, though. Once that happened,
sympathy penalty.
Yeah,
the only time you get sympathy penalties is at Arsenal, to be fair.
But a lot of our fan base, I say a lot. Yeah, it was a lot.
But
he did at Chelsea reject. He done nothing for them. What did he do for them? Won them a Champions League. What did he do for them? Won them a Champions League. But it was just like they wanted to base it off of that. Whereas, don't get me wrong, he didn't have me jump from a seat when we were linked to him and got him. But I looked at it as we could either get the Chelsea Havertz or we could get a Leverkusen Havertz, a confident. He's a confident based player.
He was a different one in
If we
Germany.
get somewhat near that Leverkusen Havertz, we've got something here. And we've seen we can do that, but we do need, like it's been mentioned, he is that Giroud-esque, what we had under Wenger. You do need that. You do need a striker now to work off him, to run into space and finish off his work.
You see, I think the thing people forget about that sort of Giroud style is the amount of sitters he missed for Arsenal. Like when I say Giroud-esque, the guy's a skinnier, taller carbon copy. Like you don't get any more Giroud than Kai Havertz. And German copy, you don't get any more Giroud than Kai Havertz. But I don't know. I think Arsenal fans have taken to him, and I think the loss of him is going to be quite substantial for us. But I'm sure we're going to get onto it. But hamstring injuries this year have been crazy. We've all lost players to him. Recently, wasn't that one Martinez got injured with as well for United?
Yeah.
ACL.
ACL. Yeah, he's doing the ACL.
But honestly, players at the moment look like they're made out of elastic bands. They're snapping on a whim. It's ridiculous.
There's a lot more matches. That's why.
Yeah, there's more matches. There's less space between the matches. It's just craziness, and they're going to put more in. So they got the Club World Cup. So players aren't even going to get a rest in the summer.
Sorry, James. I was saying this to Liam the other week about this. So Chelsea and Man City, assuming they go deep in that, that's in June. Start of July, pre-season starts. The tournament doesn't end till July. So you got your end of May. You got a couple of weeks off. Then it's the World Club Cup in America, all the way till July. Assuming you go far. Then you got pre-season. Then the season starts. Them clubs, if they both go deep, their players are going to be injuries left, right, and galore next season for them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I think it's madness. It's one of the topics on there that everybody's going to struggle. Everybody in Europe, and I know this is going to sound biased, but the top 6 clubs and the actual top 6 Finnish clubs, not the top 6, the Sky top 6. They have to play so many more games. It's untrue. It's just madness. And you've got the likes of Forest coming into a title race.
Fresh.
And they're playing 1 game a week.
Yeah.
Playing 2 games a week. We've been playing 2 games a week since Christmas.
Yeah. And I think if we don't win it, though, I want to see Forest win it.
I agree with that. I can't see that happening, but it's
a difficult one.
Yeah.
Pray to the football gods.
What?
Pray to the football gods.
Yeah. No anti-Liverpool bias here.
I just just from the point of view of a proper football team, and I do consider Liverpool to be a proper football team. Absolutely, they've done everything the right way. But when we get accused of whinging, and what we've seen in the last 24 hours is just absolutely madness.
Yeah.
Right? And not one pundit, not one ex-player, not one journalist has called that
disgraceful,
fractious, disgraceful affair or anything like that. Yeah. What it would have been if that was Arsenal.
Yeah, they've given it the old. That's what you want to see.
Say again.
They've given it the old. That's what you want to see. You want to see a bit.
Yeah, but if that's us, then then apparently it's not. Yeah, and I'm not trying to whinge. I'm not having a moan up. I think it's just a week after or 2 weeks after the media pylon.
Yeah,
and then you get it this week and nothing.
Well, look at early in the season. We played Man City at Etihad, and the aftermath of that, and you got Carragher and Neville saying we were laughing our heads off, and Gabriel got his head smacked in the back of the head with Harden's ball.
Yeah.
We love that shit house. We love that rivalry. It's an old school thing. Come to return fixture. Look what we've had. We've given it back.
No,
it's not classy. They should be ashamed of themselves.
But
Be humble.
What I was going to say is I think all of our teams have kind of like had that. I think there's a post-90s, 2000s, it's like anti-aura surrounding us is how I would eloquate it. And that is that, you know, even United, look at the Bruno decision a little while back with his red card and some of the decisions that have gone against United this season. Okay, it's not been massively prolific, but there's been a few bad ones. Some might argue there's been a few go in their favour, like, you know, Martinez diving in 2-footed and stuff like that. I mean, I'll be balanced in my argument, but, you know, I think there's this anti-aura surrounding both of our clubs at the moment, which is, it's not fashionable for us to get decisions, to get the support, to have our players be sort of like protected and have things happen like that. And there's a lot kind of going against us in that way at the moment. And I think that's been playing out in a lot of the stuff that's happened with the league table and in results that have happened, you know?
What I would say is that if Bruno had done what Curtis Jones done last night, the headlines would still be ringing in.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like the media output isn't necessarily the same for us like it used to be. I remember back in the day when Arsenal went unbeaten and everyone was like, oh, that's amazing. It's the best football team anyone's ever seen. And United's treble winners. And they weren't never off the back of the pages, you know. And if there was a fight between Keane and Patrick Vieira, everyone would be saying, that's what we want to see. That's football. That's rivalry. Yeah. Guarantee you we do that now, you know, like half the squad's getting a 6-game ban for either of our teams.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, for sure. I
remember back in the day when Arsenal went unbeaten.
Yeah, that's me, sorry.
You just wanted to repeat that.
No, I'm trying to. I was trying to do it discreetly, but it didn't work. Anyway, but yeah, I think it just goes to banter, doesn't it? Everybody just wants to banter us, and yeah, we're not getting that off our back until we win something, really. Yeah. So I just don't.
I rather Arsenal win it than Liverpool. As much as I banter Arsenal fans, I rather that outcome.
Yeah. Again, for me, I don't see that happening. So yeah, there are plenty of Liverpool fans out there. There's one in particular that I've been watching like for the last couple of days, and they're literally just they're trying to play the victim and trying to play it down like they haven't won it already or almost won it. Yeah. And I don't know if they're trying to play down the bottling or what they're trying to do, but it's just mad.
Yeah. I mean, look, no, I think the problem is this isn't even a rivalry thing. It's just nobody wants to see the league decided at this time of the year. Nobody, you know, people want a bit of competition and to see it actually going somewhere. And at the moment, it feels like a lot's gone against the rivals and a lot's gone in their favour. And obviously, look, the argument will be they feel they were hard done by last night. But you take into consideration the rest of the season. The way it's played out, I think, you know, the title's pretty much done. I'll be very surprised if it changes. I want to see it change, but I'd be very surprised if there was more competition, especially with our injuries.
I mean, they had a game in hand, and now they've got an extra point. So, I mean, it's going to be colossal if they actually screw it from here.
Well, the next 15 days will be key for them.
For sure, because they played the first one of that, haven't they?
Yeah,
and obviously that was only a draw. But if they win the next 4, then
it's done.
That's it.
Yeah,
it's game over.
Yeah.
They're going to struggle next season, though. Especially if Salah goes, they're going to struggle.
Yeah, I mean,
I get the argument because of the input he's put in this season, goals and assists. It's like, was it 40 plus already?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot to lose for free, and you've got to replace that straight away.
Well, it's not even losing it, is it? Is he going to have the season that he's had this year? Is he going to have that next year anyway? I mean,
so yes, I get that because obviously he's not getting any younger himself. But also, when you hear this, you've heard in the last couple of days, there's talks that, or there's put out by the media that Arne Slot doesn't want Diaz next season. He wants to get rid of Nunez as well. He does. There's a lot to replace. A lot of attack. A lot of the attack you've then got is then bring players that fit your style of play that are going to come in. Oh.
That's not me.
Right in there.
Yeah,
nothing there. Just decided to go black screen.
Oh. Back.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah,
See
really,
you.
Yeah, don't know what happened there. Just my screen just completely went.
Yeah.
So yeah, but no, as I say, that's a lot. If they did lose Salah, I know he's not getting younger, but there's a lot of output you're losing there potentially. And then they do sell on Nunez and Diaz. Yes, you'll then you've then got to appease the fans by bringing in someone or a couple of players of that level. They're going to give what Salah's been given.
Yeah,
don't forget
you're not replacing Salah. What Salah's numbers this season?
No.
You can't buy it. You can't buy it. If it's not in your club, you can't buy it. You just can't.
There's no player in the market.
There's a reason why they turned down that bid. Was it last season? Start of last season from the Saudi Arabia because they owners know they can't replace him.
Yeah,
they're trying to convince him to stay and extend his stay, but obviously it's not looking good for him.
I mean,
only because they don't want to pay what he wants.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah, they were playing a law of averages, turning down that bid. That was crazy to turn that down because they might win the league this year. We're all pretty sure they probably will, but they win it this year, but then they get no resale. And they could have been £200 million in the bank and buying a Gyökeres or some of the players that we've maybe been looking at, which we're still not sure we're going to get, but they've risked a real opportunity with their long-term future. And I remember when, they were talking about the Zubimendi deal and him potentially going to Arsenal, some of the freak out from the Liverpool fans was about FSG and not spending and not investing and losing targets. Well, it's hardly going to help their investment at Liverpool if they haven't got 200 million in the bank to spend. So, you might win something now, but the long-term effect for tomorrow is not great for Liverpool, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if specifically if they lose the three players for nothing, they're done, aren't they? I mean, we lose players, but they're either bit part players or players that we've either already replaced or are replaceable. But you can't replace Salah. We can't replace Van Dijk, and I expect both of those actually to be re-signed.
Didn't he sign yesterday or something like that?
I heard a couple of weeks ago that he'd re-signed, and then everything kind of gone quiet. I also heard that Al Hilal were trying to get him on a pre-contract, but I also read as well that they felt that they were being played for contracts.
Oh.
So there wasn't really a chance it was going to go, but he was kind of playing it on, or his agent was.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they always try and get more money on the contract, don't they? I actually think, controversially, Van Dijk's a bit of a fading force. I think in his game, he's always had a bit of, I used the word a bit of nibble earlier, but it's true. He's always had a bit of nibble about himself. He's stuck his head into tackles. He's given a little bit of an elbow here and a kick there. He's got the Sadio Mane vibes about him for that one. But I think he is getting a little bit older, and that aggression that we're seeing in his game is coming out because he's just able to do that little bit less. I wouldn't be surprised in the next 2-3 seasons if we see him fade out a little bit like Gary Cahill when he wound up at Crystal Palace. You know,
I mean, you can't put them on the same level. Please don't.
No, I'm not. I'm just thinking about
they're not even the same country.
Yeah, do you know what? I've dropped a clanger there. I'm thinking about defenders that are like, you know, were big
Thiago Silva,
had that impact and everything. And
yeah,
then,
yeah, I
get
what you're saying.
You know, and I feel like he's peaked and he's stuck at that level for so long.
Yeah,
I'm just starting to feel like he's dropping a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the next 3-4 years he's unstoppable, but I just don't see it.
Yeah. What's your take on that, Bearded?
Say that again.
What's your take on Van Dijk? Do you think he's the levels?
After he faced Messi, I just think he questioned himself a bit. But he had one season that I think it was like a season or two after that, Messi, that he regained his level. But right now, he's stuck. He's not the best defender in the world right now.
Okay. What are you saying, Ryan?
I mean, first off, we've got to give him, even as rival fans, got to give him a massive kudos to come back from that injury that he got during the lockdown season against Everton and reached the levels he has done since. Fair play to him, but yeah, he's like I said, he's not getting any younger, and yeah, he's not. I don't think he is. He's probably in the top 5 still, but just about holding on to 5th in terms of the best defenders in the league. Probably not, it's just all about league wise. World wise, again, he'll be hanging on if he's to be top 10 defender in the next 12 months or so, because he is naturally. We've seen it with our players years gone by. Was it Tony Adams, Keown's? As they get older, they maintain a level, but it's never the same. You know, at their peak, and they have to maintain it for so long, and then it's just they know their bodies are telling them it's time to move on. I mean, Keown literally did after he won the title with us, went to Reading for 6 months, and ended up at Leicester 6 months later, and then retired because his body was telling him. And I know times are different. He'll probably go on to either go to Saudi Arabia or
you don't forget Keown was probably in an era and where like half his career he was probably still drinking before games.
Oh yeah.
So probably
considering his 40s and he retired, fair play. He hit his 40s by the time he retired. He was still giving it large.
Yeah, but if he hadn't done that, he might have gone on for another 4 years because even the pace of the game when he was in his prime, it was so much slower.
Sorry, I was just using an example that we've had our own players that we've idolized in different eras, idolized. They hit a certain level, and as they get older, you can tell they're good still, but they're not.
The drop off is
to be long term.
Yeah, for sure.
That's hence why they've got Joel Campbell's and all that came in, Carlo Torres, because the club saw they had to at some point replace them.
Yeah,
and I think it's come to a point with Van Dijk that what was he, 35, 36, something like that. Sure. He's in his 30s either way. He's only 30s, but he's just, if he stays at Liverpool, he's just like, either way, staying at Liverpool or moving on, it's going to be his last big contract before he just retires. So he needs to look after himself one way or the other financially. And I think that's what's going to come down to. And I think that's the same with Salah, as we've mentioned already. Like we hear that him and his agent are demanding the next amount of fee. Liverpool sort of, I don't know. And hence why Salah's doing his thing publicly every now and then, going, well, nothing's agreed yet. They're nowhere near the mark.
Yeah.
Whereas the only thing I'll give Van Dijk credit for, no matter what's going on behind the scenes, is keeping it. Him and his people are keeping it in house and not going after every game. Well, nothing. This could be my last trip at Old Trafford or the Emirates and this, that, and the other. This could be my last season. Where Salah's actually done that. So professionalism-wise, you can't criticise Van Dijk because he's actually kept it in house no matter what.
Do you think
I just think he's probably got maybe 2 years, and he could be 2 years at the top level left in him before he has the Cahill effect, as been mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, look, I can agree with you on the element where recovering from that injury and coming back, it's brilliant. There's a lot of players that never come back for that. You know, we've had players with leg breaks that have never been the same, Eduardo, Ramsey, things like that, and they were in their prime when their injuries happened, you know, so I get that. I just think that Liverpool at the moment, by keeping those players, rather than, you know, okay, if they give them 2-year deals and sell them in 1 year, that's good business. But otherwise, they're pigeonholing themselves into players having to be there as the experience to train up the young guys to keep them coming. Maybe Kwanzaa comes in for Liverpool and starts performing like that. They've got Konate as kind of a replacement, but I'd say that's a little bit like, you know, the Gabriel and Saliba argument, you know, two players that play really well together. But in a couple of years, when it does fade out, what's he going to do? Because what are they going to get for him if they keep him? Either they let him go for free and he makes a mint out in Saudi, or, you know, I just think that that's part of the problem there is Liverpool have kind of pigeonholed themselves by, one, letting the contracts run down, and two, trying to sign on players that are aging probably longer for what they should. The second point I was going to make is, you know, every club has that at some point in their history. You know, you look at Arsenal with the Tony Adams thing, or maybe even the Sol Campbell, Kolo Toure sort of bit, where we had those few years where everything was really good. United, I mean, everyone knows, you know, Vidic and Rio and what they had in defence and everything else, and they've never been the same since. At the moment, you're relying on a player who's 5 foot tall with an attitude, and he's out injured. You know, but I'm just saying that, you know, like, I actually don't know where. I mean, we talk about them this year, and obviously they're relevant because they're going for the title, and hopefully so are we, even with our injuries. But I wonder where Liverpool go after this next 2 years, with the age of their players, with the lack of money, where they're planning on going and how they're going to manage things going forward. And that opens a window for us. That opens a window for United. If Amorim does his thing and they improve, it opens a window for clubs that are coming up through the leagues. You know, it's going to be a big change in the next 2 years, I think, in the league with that.
Where do you see Amorim going? Where do you see Amorim going, Bearded?
I mean, if he gets the time and the backing, I think he can be challenging for trophies, but I don't think it would be next year. Has too much of a cancer within that club at the moment for us to say, well, we brought in another manager and we're just going to straight away challenge for titles. It's not going to happen. And our fans need to be as patient, maybe not as patient as Arsenal fans, but we need to hold steady the ship and back the manager. And in January, I didn't see that. I didn't see him
no, because he backed the other manager.
With are we talking about?
You wasted the money, didn't you? Really,
Ten Hag?
Ten Hag had another 200 million to spend for some reason or another when they knew they were getting rid of him. And it's just like, well,
that's a crazy call, man.
Yeah, if you're going to keep him and keep the seat warm for the other guy, just keep the money in the bank.
But
spend the money.
I would say that the last set of players that were brought in have been decent. That's Mazwari. We have the what's his name? Euro.
Yanni
Still learning the trade.
Yanni Euro, yeah.
Yeah, he's still learning the trade. Delit.
Yeah.
50-50.
Yeah.
So I would say
they
that
play the way he wants to play, though. I mean, yeah, you've got those players come in and they've selected him before they selected the manager. Can they actually play the style that Amorim wants to play? Because
I think we still need a left-sided center back.
I'm not judging by that whatsoever. Yeah. What I'm saying is you're going to need a lot of work.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that one bit. What I'm saying is the new players that were brought in. Can those new players fit the system that Amorim wants to play? Because he's not going to change that system.
No,
and if he does change that system, then you're going down the rabbit hole again.
Not being biased at all. I think they can. I think Xerxes is a player that I like. I don't think he's a striker.
And he's raw.
Yeah, but I think in and around that link-up play, he's fantastic. United fans are probably not accustomed to seeing that kind of play, but
yeah,
in a 10 position, he can do damage.
Yeah, you kind of need to unearth another couple of gems, don't you, for the from the academy.
We have a striker from Arsenal, right?
He's very raw, though. I mean, yeah,
that hurts right now. That really hurts right now.
Yeah, but let's be real. If he was still at Arsenal now, he'd be on the bench and or playing.
He's starting on Saturday with this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He might be ripping the contract up. You never know.
Lovely player.
But yeah, I question that a little bit because it's like, well, does he see what's coming in front of him, and he doesn't think he can break through, or I think it was 2.5 times the money, so I don't know where he's gone for money, or he just sees the route easier. Do you know what I mean?
Or maybe he knew you guys were going in for a striker, and the line would have been longer. Yeah,
but I mean, the one striker doesn't stop you getting on the bench. It doesn't stop you getting into cup competitions. You've got that. There's plenty of competitions that you can be going in for.
Fancies his chances against our 2 strikers, huh?
Yeah, well, maybe.
You're 2 strikers, though.
Maybe. Yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, I probably fancy my chances, to be honest. I'm not being funny, but yeah, they don't. I have a problem with Højlund. I think when he's on the end of when he's on the end, he's okay. But I don't see what he does in a build-up.
His link-up play needs work, man.
Yeah,
doesn't do anything. He's like anonymous. So you're like in a build-up. You're like, well, where is he? We're just trying to, nudge a ball off him or whatever. You can't do anything with him.
I think he's at his best in transition.
Yeah, but he's not quick though, is he?
Yeah, I mean he has a burst of pace, man. He's not that slow. Who we comparing him against?
I mean, I'd say, even though he's injured, I actually think Havertz is quicker than him. And that's saying something. I'm just going to say
Kane's quicker than him.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
I think Kane's quicker than Højlund.
I'd
really
say,
do.
I'll go out on a whim and say Erling Haaland's dad's quicker than him at this point.
Martinez is quicker than him, and he's got a nice line.
No, he's actually pretty quick though.
Is he?
Yeah.
Who are you comparing him to? Obviously, you see him more than I do. Yeah. But, yeah.
All right. He's faster than Xerxes. I'd say he's faster than Havertz. I would say that.
Yeah.
Let me see another striker. I think he's faster than Darwin as well.
Okay.
I just want to say, after a day of baiting Liverpool fans for fun, it's nice to know I got a bite out of you 2 bearded, so I appreciate it.
Oh dear.
Yeah, man.
I mean, has he got a future? Has Højlund got a future at United?
If they bring in experienced striker, I think he has a future.
He was the experienced striker.
At his age, right?
They paid the money for him.
How many goals did he have for Atalanta?
I'm not.
That's crazy.
I'm not looking at numbers. I'm asking you.
that amount of goals, which is, I don't think it was more than like 15 or 10, to be the experienced striker leading United to sign. That's crazy.
Yeah, but it's
like 80 million, wasn't he?
Yeah,
75 or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, split hairs, but
doesn't that just sort of like say where United are at the moment? No, they're buying on the basis of potential, spending 75 to 80 million on the hope that somebody's going to turn out good, rather than knowing that player's a star.
But is it logical?
Only if they're successful.
I mean, we look at Madrid's strategy right now. They're buying young. However,
but they can afford to. They're a little bit different to an Arsenal or a United or even Liverpool, and actually probably more on a par with Liverpool than any of our clubs, really, because they've got a squad of players. They can afford to instill a couple of young talents and just bring it through. Barcelona have rebuilt through young players as well. So it is the way, but paying 80 million for him is not really the way, is it?
Yeah, it seems like crazy money right now, but
it's United tax though, isn't it? That's the thing. And Arsenal have kind of the same thing. It's only since Edu's been in that we've stopped paying that money, which sometimes I agree with, sometimes I disagree with. This January, I definitely disagree with it. We should have bought somebody regardless of the price. But I think, with United, it's just, well, Man United are in for us. So, we're going to rub our hands together and see how much, cream we can get off the top. And that's what's happened.
We put ourselves in that position as well, especially when Ed Woodward was there. Once they say a price, like, no bargaining, like, we take it. And that's crazy, man.
We look at Harry Maguire.
You also struggle with the wages. It's just crazy when you pay the wages. It's absolutely mental to me.
Which makes it hard to move them on off.
Well, exactly. You can't get a deal. You've got to loan them out, pay half the money or whatever it is, and you got to hope they hit the ground running. Otherwise, you're just never getting rid. But that also be guilty of that as well.
Yeah,
certainly recently.
Yeah, but we don't respond by sacking our tea lady.
I mean, we sacked people as well, but we didn't do the second tier of sacking.
No.
And now we're up to the third, aren't we?
We didn't take money out of charities that were self-made by the club either.
This is basically become a United roasting session.
I mean,
you lot was lucky to get Pepe out, right?
I think this new spending thing where they're putting caps on teams, I think that's probably affected both our teams. I think we've been very much scared of sort of like breaking that structure in January and pushing ourselves past a certain point. And I think United just genuinely don't have any more money. They've got a rich owner that can't spend because the club have overspent, both on wages and on player fees. And I'll go back to the point I said 5 minutes ago, a huge mistake letting Ten Hag spend all that money.
Yeah.
De Ligt, you may or may not have gotten lucky there. I'll give you that. No way in hell a few years back Martinez was worth the 55 million you paid for him or whatever it is. I think we capped out at about 35 million. You paid more. But it's just silly. I don't understand why the Glazers allowed your club to be run like that.
Was it 90 million quid for Anthony as well?
Yeah.
That was a puzzling one because he was worth like half. Not even half that.
Not even half. It was about 30 million. It was kind of agreed.
That was a weird one.
I think it was 30 million euros as well. It was kind of agreed going through. And then the next thing, he's coming through 86 million or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's a crazy one.
Craziness. But yeah, then he goes back to Spain and he's
on fire.
Man of the match.
Yeah, that's because he has time on the ball out there, though. Like, he's one of those players. You don't have that in the
room on the ball now.
Yeah,
Spain suits him.
Yeah, but yeah, I think you've got to ride it for a couple of years at least.
Get the 3 windows. Yeah. I'm giving Amarin 3 windows.
I think you need more than that.
You're going to need more. Put it this way: when Arteta arrived, look at the situation we were in as a club. Just finished as a season. We finished 8th for the first time, but we finished. It's the first season after Wenger was 5th. We just sacked our manager. We had like 3 or 4 clicks within the dressing room. Now it turned out there's a ledge bullying towards one of them players by another click and this, that, and the other. And look how long it took Arteta when he's come in to destroy them clicks, get them clicks out the club, keep the players he wanted to keep, and then bring in the players he wants as well at the same time. Get that balance right and get us to where we are competing to an extent. We're not over the line yet. It took till 3 seasons ago, and then suddenly we just out of nowhere started competing in terms of for the title.
Yeah,
But what I
I
would
think
say,
United, I said this when under Ten Hag, when he first got Ten Hag, United then were in a worse position than what we were when Arteta arrived. I think it's even worse now. So I think it's 3 winners, as I say, like James says, 3 winners isn't enough. You're going to need to give him 2.5 years, at least 2.5 years.
We spoke about the age of, like Salah and Van Dijk and what's going to happen there, but Bruno ain't getting.
Yeah, Bruno's going to be out, isn't he? By the time that kind of process is done,
you're gonna need a new striker, a new centre back, 2 new central midfielders, a new goalkeeper at the very least. And you've already mentioned, you'll need for wingers and everything. Don't get me wrong. I think United might have a couple of good cup runs, and they got enough talent in the squad to sort of pinch a result here and there. Look what they did against us in the FA Cup.
Yeah,
that was the robbery of the century
against 12, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not necessarily revenge for the 2005 FA Cup, but we'll take it. We'll let you have that one.
I've got a DVD actually.
But I think you look at that. I mean, that's at least a £400-500 million investment when they're already skint at the moment. They've got to get on board with this PSR. There's another year of it, and then they've got to work out what they're doing next compared to what they can spend. Unless they could do a Chelsea and sell a few hotels, I don't know where they're getting the money from.
That's actually been closed now.
Liverpool at the club has been closed now. But also, we were talking about players they've got to bring in. There's players you've got to get rid of that are on high wages. And no other club is going to pay them wages now. Now you've got to convince these players to take the pay cut to piss off, basically.
I'll tell you what.
We had it with Ozil and all that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what does make me laugh. I watch a lot of the other podcasts with other fans on, and what is completely
what one you're on about.
Go on, say again.
I know exactly what one you're on about as well. I'm not saying you're going to get in trouble.
Well, you may do, you may not. I don't know. I don't know if you know where I'm going to go. But when you're talking about wage caps and stuff like that, I find it really bizarre and ironic when Chelsea fans talk about wage caps and wage structures. And we can't buy this player because we've got a wage structure. We can't do this because we've got a wage structure.
Of 8-year contracts.
It just makes my head explode. You signed a player for 9 years
on $300,000 a week,
and you're talking about a wage structure. That is not a wage structure.
You signed João Felix in the
explosion.
Summer. They signed João Felix in the summer on a 7-year contract. 6 months later, they're selling them on to AC Milan.
Yeah. Well, there's one that they're signed to a 9-year contract. He's currently banned.
I know.
He can't even play.
I think they made a good thing that they did for themselves, though. They got themselves out of a bit of bother with the Saudi deals that they've got. I think the Mudryk deal was part funded by money that they received from a loan from the Saudis, and in return, Koulibaly and a load of other players went out there. It doesn't strike me as.
I don't think they got out of it though, because they did it with Felix. They've done a PSR switch. This is my theory. They've done a PSR switch with Felix and who's the other guy? The only Chelsea player that was left, the midfielder.
Oh, Conor Gallagher.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're still doing it.
Yeah, because they're very vocal. Some weren't they saying this is separate deals, nothing to do. But it only happens if this one goes that way.
Yeah,
it's completely separate, guys.
Yeah, nothing to see here.
Just walking away whistling.
I mean, it's working, right?
Yeah, well, for now.
It works for how long though? Because obviously, you've got that for 9 years. So every time you sign somebody on to do that, you've got a chunk on the year. You've got a chunk on the year and chunk on the year. And when you get to the end, and you actually need somebody, and you go, crap, there's no room for it.
Yeah. I don't know if I saw it on a podcast or somebody put it on a post on X, but one of the Chelsea fans was arguing, what can Maresca do? His hands are tied behind his back.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
And I was like,
I saw that. I was like, I wanted to go into the screen and give him a good shake.
You got a £1.5 billion squad that all below the age of 25, and his hands are tied behind his back.
Did you see my tweet earlier on?
No.
So somebody said I was talking to a United fan. And he was on about he runs the community group, and I was talking to him, and he said something about Chelsea, and I said they didn't buy a team, they bought a catalogue. It's literally flick through, pick one.
Didn't they have like 40-something players at one point?
Yeah, you can just imagine him going like that, and then a little pocket coming out of the book, and going, "Yeah, that one, please."
I'll tell you what they did. They opened up Football Manager and looked at who was on potential. Do you know what I mean? That's what they've done, and they've got.
I put another one out. You know when they cancelled Football Manager 25?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, what are they going to do now?
It's a good job they didn't open up like Football Manager 98 or something where they'd have walked out of Recoba from retirement. Do you know what I mean?
I did have to laugh that there's somebody having a meltdown because Abramovich has been descaled on the regulation. He's like, yeah, well, it's probably time barred. You know, it's got to the end of his timing period, and they've reduced the sanctions. It's pretty simple, really. Doesn't mean he was never guilty of anything.
No, Chelsea fans think he's innocent now. He was wrongly sold down the river by the government. He's never sold his club. Bring him back.
Yeah.
Mate, it's factually.
He bought the oil field, sold them back to the government.
No involvement in that situation. I'm not going to mention the situation, but he had no involvement in that. But even though it's factually out there that he was.
Yeah, it's absolutely out there. Yeah.
I mean, guys, let's not get ourselves in a legal problem here. I'm just going.
That's what I'm saying. Not mentioning names, not mentioning things.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't have any physical evidence, but let's be real here. Let's be real.
It's dodge, but anyway, that's the thing. I think Chelsea fans have. I honestly think it's just a competition between which group of fans have the least or the biggest lack of self-awareness between Chelsea and Liverpool fans. There's no self-awareness at all with either group of fans, and that's not me trying to sort of like bait or anything like that. I think Liverpool fans have had a lot go for them for a very long time, and I think they were trophy starved for a very long time in regards to the Premier League and the Division 1 at the point in time. And I think that's played on their minds, and I think they just have no awareness of where they've come from, where they've been, and what's going on. And Chelsea have no self-awareness where it comes to the money they've spent, the team they've got, the way they've got there, or where they were before 2004. And it drives me nuts. Like they say that Arsenal fans are mental and we moan and we whinge and stuff like that. But I mean, we're seeing referee decisions that are actually calamitous and have destroyed a title run-in, and we're moaning about it. And the only time anyone else moans about it is when it finally happens to them. Yeah, I wouldn't say that's a lack of self-awareness. I'd say that's being ahead of the curve. But again, maybe I'm a bit biased with that one. So correct me if you think I'm wrong there, guys.
No, I don't think you're wrong at all. But I would like some people just to kind of take a look, and even if you can't do it straight away, because obviously, you know, we all stand in our little bubble straight away. But when you come out of it and then kind of look from the outside and look in and go, actually, yeah, I don't really agree with that, even if it's against your own team.
Yeah.
And I think that's I think that goes a long way to kind of making a change and kind of getting everybody on the same page. But that so few people can do it. And I've kind of learned to do it a little bit. I don't do it all the time, you know, because I'm a football fan. You know, at the end of the day, it's I have my opinions, and sometimes I just can't get out of them. But most of the time, I can compartmentalize, and I can look at it and go, yeah, I think they were done there.
Yeah, I mean, we've all got a bit of tribalism in us, but we've got common sense as well.
But going over that, do you think Liverpool were done last night? Do you think? Did you actually watch the game?
Go on, B. Did you go first? I could see you wanting to go there. Go on.
Go on, do it.
Yeah, I watch. I didn't watch a full game. I was in and out of the game, but some of the key moments I had witnessed, and I just sum it up to how the level of refereeing is at the moment in the league. Curtis Jones, as we were talking earlier, he shouldn't have been on the field.
No.
So that little bit at the end would not have happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think personally, Liverpool got a couple of decisions in their favour that should have helped them win the game. It doesn't help. Liverpool fans aren't at the moment with that result ain't helping themselves when they're sharing photos of the replay where the time says 10 seconds till the end of the match, rather than when the headbutt incident happened 2 minutes before that. And then complaining.
He actually made it up. Actually, gave the whole thing.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a joke.
It's actually 3 minutes earlier.
They're not helping themselves. It's insanity. But I love the effort. I love the effort. Like 100% respect on the effort, but complete disrespect on the attempt. But I think they're not helping themselves there. But I don't think Oliver, in that respect, had a bad game. For once, he did a repeat of the Man City game where he was letting the game flow, and both teams were giving it some. They're both giving it, the tackles, the pushing, the shoving. There were certain players I think should have been booked and probably should have been taken off because they would have got sent off. Luis Diaz, he thought he was prime NFL for a second there. Diving into people, pushing people, shoving people, grabbing them on the back, sending them over to the ground. It was a bit nuts. Bradley should have been sent off. Everton should have had a player sent off in the first half. But I think, you said to us earlier, Sparks, he sort of like grabbed the guy and then let go and he realised what he was doing. But other refs would have given him a red card for that. So, there was the penalty incident. I've heard some people say it was offside, but they still did a VAR review. So, if they're talking VAR review about natural position of the arm and stuff like that, maybe he wasn't offside. I don't know enough about that. What I know is Liverpool had enough decisions in their favour to win that game, and sitting there complaining about the referee allowing them to get kicked about and all that sort of stuff, when we see it week in, week out from every other club in a derby, I don't think that's enough justification to turn around and say the ref didn't help them and that they were, stiffed out of the result. I think, all in all, for me, probably a 50-50 game, and they lost their heads at the end because they didn't like it.
Liverpool as well, as far as I see anyway, they do their fair share of the technical kind of free kick, where it's not quite a free kick, but it's enough to upset the apple cart, as it were, but it's not going to get called. They do loads of that.
Yeah. Oh, Sosbolai went down the back of one of the Everton players' legs, and he ended up kicking into the turf, and coming off injured, and he was one of their best players at the start of the match.
He should have diving. You see that dive he did?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like the one on the edge of the box where they're claiming he was taken out like he'd been hit with a shotgun blast. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, it's silly. Like, have some common sense about the game. You've gone away, you've had a game in hand on Arsenal, and you've pulled an extra point out of it. So okay, you've not got 9 points, you've got 7 points.
Yep.
Sure.
So you've got to have some common sense around it, and I think they've been allowed to sort of sit there and get so much in their favour that when something goes against them, all of a sudden it's a calamity and the whole world's against them.
Yeah, I definitely don't see that there was enough in that to say that he was against them. I don't think he had a great performance.
No,
but I don't think he had a great performance for either side. And I think every reasonable free kick that they got, apart from the one they scored from, was in a kind of a null area, which really didn't matter to anything. But I think Liverpool were poor.
Wasn't that his typical performance?
Probably, yeah,
about that. But about right there. Yeah, I mean, not far off. Yeah, Yeah.
To be fair though, like Michael Oliver, I'm surprised at the end of the match he didn't find a way to send off Trossard.
I mean, he's
got to go
or Bruno.
Still going through the cat.
It's crazy.
Well, it's even that as well. The whole sending off. What's that? Oh, it's not like giving the red card. Like, you got Liverpool fans going on a certain football channel tonight, on the chat going, he got sent off because he shook a hand. Like you can see again. Use your eyes. Open up. As shaking hand, he says quite a few things clearly offensive towards the referee. We know what the referees are like. Be it no matter what's been said, they can take things that they do. And Oliver being known for being a bit card friendly when it comes to the old you're having a go at me. You don't give him that. You don't as a manager, even if he's the first six, you do not give a referee the ammunition to go, oh really? Bye.
Yeah.
Especially with that ending of a match.
Yeah. Especially when you've got half your team battling in front of your away fans on the side of the pitch.
I know I've dropped a few one-liners, but come on, that handshake, I mean, that was Tuchel Conte levels of assault.
Yeah.
I mean, he was not letting go of that guy's hand unless he said what he wanted to say. I'm not surprised he got
I actually posted that earlier.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. His head and face was redder than your shirt when that happened. I'm telling you, Bearded. He was off on one, the geezer.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you saw on the touchline what he was actually doing, but every time there was like a decision, he kind of do a little pat of the ground and spin round in a circle, and it's like
reset.
What are you doing? You know, I thought he had some dance mat that he's working. It's crazy.
Man, yeah. But when the goal went in, did he go to grab the foot official?
Yeah, and also when the free kick, that first free kick, he basically went up to him, he put his arm round him, and he kind of pulled him into him like this. He's like, what are you doing?
I thought Klopp was mental, but okay.
Yeah, it's the first time he's been in a cauldron as well, and it's the first time he's basically lost the plot.
I think it's.
I've said this. Sorry, I said this for weeks, even before it got rearranged for a bit of wind back in December, whenever it was.
A bit of wind. I mean,
compared to obviously a week later, there's like we had buckets of snow at Anfield. It was like that's going ahead.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a bit of wind. Basically, I said it's Everton, Goodison Park, last season at Goodison, last Merseyside derby. The fans are going to be up for it. Players, especially under Moyes now, this time round, because he knows this derby. He knows what it means for the fans and all the players he's had before. He's going to have these players up for it, and they did, and that gave. And I don't think because of how well things have been going for Arnie this year for majority of his games, he didn't respect the derby for what it is.
Yeah.
He beat him on the backside.
Yeah, he saw it as an away ground that we could win at, didn't he?
The disrespect he showed Plymouth at the weekend as well. To rest 10 of the 11 starting players and then go,
and
have a hissy fit over being knocked out, and then put them 10 players back in the squad and then go, do what you normally do, and thinking it'll just happen. And then I think, well, he learned his lesson because he's got to play him again in a few weeks' time as well at Anfield. So that's going to be an interesting one.
So do you think that this could be the start of a downturn, or do you think it's just a blip and they're going to get?
As I say, I think the next 4 games are key. If they can get 9 to 10 points, then I would say it's done. If they get 7 points at the next 4, then maybe a wobble you could look at, maybe depending on what we do as well. That's the whole thing. We can only do our bit.
Yeah.
But from their point of view,
if we're not perfect, then it makes no difference anyway. But which I don't expect us to be perfect anyway. By the way,
I think I also got played because I got
Who do they have?
Villa, Newcastle, United. This is us league and Tottenham. Then you got Newcastle in the final as well. You got Champions League coming back. We don't know who they're going to get in that.
Aston Villa.
No, in terms of Champions League, we don't know who they.
Yeah, but I thought you were on about the next 4 or 5.
Well, the weekend. This weekend they've got Aston Villa. I think they've got Newcastle in the league as well, plus the cup final. You got United. You got Tottenham. Tough games there. Then you got Champions League to add into all that as well at some point. Probably the back end of that.
Who are we talking
It's
about?
probably the best
Liverpool,
time if it is to happen. This is probably the best time to happen for it to happen for us for the new.
Well, it's the only time, isn't it? Really, if they're not,
because
if they don't drop them now, then they're not going to drop them.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I don't see them dropping
momentum-
enough for it.
If they come out of this with like 8 points or more, it was just a momentum push for the rest of the season. No matter what we do at Anfield against them, come May.
If they get a draw, and is it Wolves they play next?
Yeah, they play Wolves next. Yeah.
So when they if they fail to beat Wolves, because if they fail to beat them, because I still think a draw is a bad result.
Yeah.
But if they fail to beat them, could that be the start of something? And I'm not trying to talk you into it. I'm literally just trying to.
If they draw against Wolves, considering where Wolves are, where they are, and obviously where Liverpool are.
It's relevant where they are. They just.
I think mentally after what happened last night, I think that would mentally take them not out the game, but take a bit of the wind out of the sail, and maybe that might then start a ball rolling effect. Or
it could start a ball, couldn't it? But obviously it's clutching at straws. It's doing whatever.
We've got to do that now. That's the situation we found ourselves in.
Arsenal can't win it, really, can they? Arsenal can't win it. Liverpool can lose it.
Yeah,
Arsenal
can't. Hands, basically. It's like 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago for us? We were most of the season on top. It's in their hands to lose, basically. But I've just got their table up now, and not table, their league fixtures up now on their website. You've got obviously Wolves at the weekend.
Yeah.
Then they're at Villa Park next Wednesday. TNT. Man City away at the following weekend. Newcastle. Then a Champions League fixture inserted. Southampton, second leg. Final. Then Merseyside derby again. And then Fulham away.
I fancy Villa and Newcastle to get wins against them, Famous last words, hot take, but I think
Man City. Man City are.
You didn't say Man City.
No, I don't see it. I think the Man City thing. Man City are
is that the Etihad as well?
Yeah.
Liverpool don't do well there.
If there's a draw,
aren't they like bosom buddies? They're like
best friends.
They're married up.
So if they don't win it, surely they want Liverpool to win it, and
that's City pull
bend over. But
we pump City. Liverpool fans jumping. I don't worry, little bro. We'll save the day.
It's as cringy as West Ham, Man City, and don't even get me started.
There are people that have made badges for that.
Yeah, it's great.
The West Ham Man City thing. And you're like,
I was going to say on the Liverpool front with Slot, I feel like his mask is slipping a little bit after last night. And the person I want to compare him to, this is either going to get agreement or rile people up. This is probably as bad as my Cahill take. But I'm comparing.
What were you saying with the Cahill take? It was just that the drop off is just too big.
Phenomenal. I know. But I think a bit like Ange at Tottenham, where it started off with all of this praise and all of this hype and all of this style of football and turning this team around. I know.
Imagine it.
And then he starts having some drama. Things start going against him. Decisions stop going his way. And the next thing you know, he's screaming in referees' faces. He's slamming on the floor. He's turning around like he's a ballerina. And the geezer loses his head. I mean, look, I want to see it. I'm not going to lie. I want to see it. But I just got a feeling that there's a little bit of that about him. Like, I don't think he can handle the pressure.
Do you not think that's just the Dutch in him? That's just, it's a bit kind of that kind of mannerism. It's just like a bit arrogant and a bit nasty, I suppose, but not overly nasty. It's just a mannerism, isn't it?
Yeah, but how long till that bites him in the backside and it affects the rest of his team as well? Because you've already got Van Dijk throwing elbows and kicks for fun. Like they're going to start stamping down on that if his attitude and behaviour. First person they criticise about their attitude and behaviour is Arteta. And all he did was pull a funny face on the touchline and shake his hand a little too much. You got Slot screaming in referees' faces because he's got a last-minute draw.
The point of that is nobody says a thing about it. So that's not a thing.
Yeah.
You've seen nothing in the media about that today.
Have we heard from Jimmy Carragher yet?
I think he said he was disappointed or something. That's all I've seen him character, to be honest.
I saw the I don't know what is it, ESPN Sport, the American station is on CBS, something like that. I saw the video of him seeing the goal go in, and he's gone from screaming, "Come on, that's how you do it!" when Salah scored.
Oh yeah, I
to
saw
his face
that.
just
This is the man who, I'm an Everton lad, boy and man, and all that. Even though I played for Liverpool, Merseyside Derby comes on. Come on, Liverpool! Everton's good. Oh well.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Absolute moron. I can't stand the guy. For many reasons. Again, not going to get anyone in trouble, but many reasons can't stand the guy.
Do you know what, Ryan? People are going to be saying the same about me after this.
Don't
worry.
That was a huge.
It probably took him longer with Liverpool because Liverpool obviously down. It was quicker because it was Tottenham. So a lot.
Yeah.
So that could be interesting. As I say, especially with our discussion earlier about how do they, if they were to lose 2 or all 3 of the players that are coming to the end of their contracts from the summer, we could see that come full swing next season.
Yeah. I don't think they would be where they are right now without Salah.
40 fucking goals and assists. Fucking Mo Salah, your captain's gone, your vice captain's gone.
The thing is, as well, with the players that they're talking about losing, as in Diaz and Nunez,
we keep forgetting Trent.
Well, Trent's going to be.
Yeah,
I think he'll go. I think he'll go for free.
Yeah.
I think he's already gone. I think that's agreed.
There's a reason he's not getting played.
Mm.
So he's either not getting played because he's trying to force him to sign a contract, and that's what's holding up the announcement on all the contracts. They want to announce them all together. Just like we used to do that, didn't we? Where there was 5 English players.
Oh, the
Kieran Gibbs in there, and
Kieran Gibbs,
Gibbs, Wilshere, Ramsey, Jenkinson, and who was the other one? There's the 5th. Chamberlain. Oxlade. The British core, as it was called. And they did a big presentation outside the stadium on the artwork for the year. That went well.
That was mad. That was mad. We thought that was good at the time.
we really fell off. That was terrible.
Yeah, people wonder why managers had to come in and tear everything up. At least United have some players where you could kind of, you could bring
back on a sort of. Yeah.
We didn't really have anybody.
I'm going to say 2 words. I'm going to say 2 words. First one's Andre. Second one's Santos.
You know him. I think he was probably our worst signing ever.
I liked him for your
worse than Stefanos.
Yeah, but
I bet you did.
That was a joke. That was a joke. Actual playing signing. I think that was our worst signing.
I love Fabianski as well.
Flappy-Hansky. The thing is, though, with Flappy-Hansky, right? The thing is with that, right? We all thought that Ramsdale was the next big thing, and he was just the replacement to Flappy-Hansky.
Yeah, you look back at it now. Yeah,
if you look back at it, if you actually deep it, because
look at it in this season as well.
Every corner that came in.
Well, look at this season, Southampton. Was it a few weeks ago? The corner came in. Was it corner or free kick came in? He's on the line trying to push it out.
Yeah. He pushed it straight back to the striker.
It happened at Villa, didn't it? It happened at Villa when Luis Diaz scored against us from the corner kick. He was nowhere near it, and there was a player just stood in front of him.
But when we got Raya and we had Ramsdale, none of us realised that at the time.
Because it was that emotional thing, wasn't it? With Ramsdale,
yeah, we had
the doldrums of.
I can see my part in this is controversial.
Knock yourself out.
So I've already worked that one out. I'm going to go for it again. I actually think Raya was better though when he had Ramsdale's competition.
That's true.
Really?
And I had a lot. I had a lot of grief about that the other day. But the point I was trying to make, and very
chose
bad
not to respond.
I appreciate that. It's the word count on X. That's all it is. So you can only say so much in just a short space. my opinion on the whole thing was that he had competition and somebody who he knew that if he didn't perform, they took his place. And since that hasn't been happening, you started to see some more complacency slip into his game, is all I was trying to say. So I'm not saying he's not brilliant. I'm not saying he hasn't saved us in games and made amazing saves. I'm not saying I don't absolutely love the guy in goal. I think he's phenomenal. But those little moments can cost you championships, where you decide to make that straight pass out of defence because you're getting cocky. You stand on your halfway line, a little bit like Ramsdale used to do, like the Sporting Lisbon goal we conceded a few years back. Where you sort of step out a goal and then the next thing you know, you're tracking back. And I think against Newcastle, Gordon nearly lobbed him like that. And I've been waiting for something like that to happen all season. When I've been at home games, I am actually standing there going, what the hell is he doing off his line? Why is he that far out? And the thing is, he'll do that and then he'll make a decision like he did at Bournemouth, where instead of going to take the ball, which probably saves Saliba from a red card, he decides to run back to his goal.
Yeah,
it looks like
but that's natural reaction. He's very instinctive, and even Onana's like that, right? And
he just described Onana.
They're not the same level, but Onana does the instinctive thing, and I think Raya's very. I think they're both very emotional keepers.
Onana is the worst crossover between Andy Carroll and Manuel Almunia I have ever seen. I'm going to go there. He's got Andy Carroll's shot-stopping instincts and Manuel Almunia's
Here's what I would say about him. When he came to United, he looked like he was overweight. Like he wasn't. He was not stopping anything. Like his reaction time was low. But what I would say this season, it's a bit better, but he keeps making not like errors,
It could be worse if he was Sanchez.
So you think that he was fat? The reason why he was rubbish?
I never said that.
Fat shame going on.
Exclusive podcast.
That's getting clipped up as well. Anyway.
But yeah, it could be worse. You could have Roberto Sanchez in goal. So
that guy as well. He is I tell you what, he's not much different to Ramsdale, to be honest. the Ramsdale that we can see now.
Yeah.
Right? And he's instinctive as well, but it's often the wrong instinct. So he does that a lot, and I can't remember who they're playing. I think it might be in Brighton, and he literally ran out, got to the edge of the box, and he thought, right, okay, I need to make a decision here. I need to go to the man or get back in the goal. And he spent 5 seconds stood on the spot.
Yeah, I saw that goal.
Well, do one of them then. Don't just stand there. And he just went, bink. Oh, okay, too late. What are you doing?
Do you know what though? Right, talk about United. I can see one or two things happening there in goal. I don't think Onana's going to stay. I think he's going to get out as soon as he can. But I think it might be another 2 seasons down the line. And I see a player like Sells from Nottingham Forest.
I don't like him. No.
I could see that. If Sells sort of stays there for another year and he performs next year like he is doing at Nottingham Forest this year, I can kind of see them going for that style of goalkeeper, someone who's going to put in those good performances. I've just seen that comment. That's brilliant. But yeah, like I can kind of see that sort of player. I mean, look, even at a push, maybe going back in for a player like Henderson, because Henderson's
he got some continuity, hasn't he? So he.
It's not that good with his feet, is he?
Depends what style you want to play, though.
Neither was De Gea.
I mean, is Amorim?
That's why they got rid of him, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ten Hag didn't like him either, but I think is that Amorim style of play? Is it play out from the back, or is it bomb down the pitch as quick as you can and try and get the ball to the big striker? I think the first player you're going to buy though is Gyökeres.
I heard the story came out today that that's a no-no.
There's no money.
Yeah,
Really?
that's a no.
Oh yeah.
They're trying to say that he's too old.
He's what?
It said that he's too old.
How old is he?
He's just 27.
He's
I don't understand that at all, man. Just come out and say we're broke.
Yeah, he might as well. He might as well have just said, "Yeah, we're skint, mate. We haven't got any money."
27. Yeah, you're too old, mate. I'm in my prime years. No.
Yeah.
I've got 6 years in me. No,
We've made a new signing at United. Lady back.
I mean, we can't talk.
Yeah, did we sack the dog? I haven't seen him for a
while.
Well,
I think obviously with how people perceive the dog in terms of bigger online accounts, probably thinking not the best time to bring out the dog and do any promo with the dog because I know we adopt the dog.
You can't have
gave the girl a home, gave her a name.
I just thought of a really bad joke, but I can't even share it.
No, don't. Yeah, don't. Please don't.
Cancel before you even start.
Yeah.
Oh dear me, Jesus. So where do we think the rest of the season is for Arsenal then?
Third. No, honestly, I think it's title or third.
Who's finishing second?
I don't think.
Not
Yeah. No, I can see maybe Man City making a late charge at the end of the year and pulling it back a little bit. Or I can see Nottingham Forest sort of like just creeping up and picking us to that position. I don't necessarily like saying it, but I think the thing is we're either going to work out a way of playing with our injuries and everything else and actually give Liverpool a run for their money and push for it, which is great. Or the drop off with no front line and the pressure and the injuries and everything is going to get too much and it's going to knock us back. And look, I've just seen a comment third with UCL. We probably do have a team that's better placed for Europe. That ball control, that being able to, sort of like hold teams back and defend well and then nick a goal here or there. It's how we got to the UCL final when we did in 2006. We didn't concede a single game until the semi-final against Villarreal, I don't think. So I can kind of see us with that style of football and maybe going and doing something like a semi-final or a final in the UCL and catching a lot of teams off guard. But I don't think that style of play suits the Premier League when you've got no front line. And that's why I think if we work out a way around it and we push for it, or we wind up slipping back a little bit. And I don't think it's going to be colossal. But I've got to be realistic. And who knows, we haven't had an opportunity to discuss him and saying that, he's young, he's 15, 16 years old, but they might try and seek special permission to play him. Yeah. I mean, the guy's 6'4", 6 foot tall already. Sorry, not 6'4", 6 foot tall already. And he's running rings around players in the first team in Dubai.
He's
and
quite well built as well, actually, for a young guy.
So, I don't see if that happens, why we then don't have another option up front. But I just think Trossard and Sterling as our only two attacking options. And I love Trossard. I think he's brilliant. But I just think he needs somebody to feed off and give him a break with his legs occasionally. How long until he's injured for 4 weeks and then we're back to square one? We need Saka back as soon as possible, I think.
The thing is that obviously we're at the point that we're one game a week at least. So they're getting a bit of recovery time in. So hopefully White comes back, gives a bit of an option, a bit of a break for Timber, a bit of an option to put Timber on the left and maybe maybe do a bit more build up from a back because we missed White a lot in terms of the actual build up. Yeah,
I think Tierney as a left winger is almost a must at this stage as well.
I don't want to be seeing that, to be honest, but
he's still around.
Yeah, he goes to the end of the season.
Goes back to Celtic on a free come summer,
yeah.
It's all been agreed.
But isn't it feeling like you guys are going back to the Wenger era, where it's just?
I get what you're saying, but it feels like that because of the amount of injuries we've got in key players in key areas. Obviously, it was just us, Kai, just Saka. I've got Jesus out for at least a year, if not longer, because with Jesus, yes, he's done his ACL, but people need to remember he's not long come back from a knee operation in the last 18 months as well. So that's going to have a massive impact with the surgery he's about to have, he has had, with his ACL.
You're going to say that's his second ACL, isn't it? I believe.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think it is.
So you've got he's age as well, but obviously we can't sell him, so he's on our books for another year. The plan was to get rid of him in the summer, apparently.
Yeah.
But you've got in the moment we've got no Kai now, got no Saka, no Jesus. Martinelli's out for a couple of weeks. Someone else. And we're, as I say, from that point of view, at one point we had 2.5 months of no captain in terms of Odegaard start the season.
Yeah.
Because of international football.
We did
we've had Ben White for most of the season. Timbers played more and been in and out. Tommy Asu, don't even get started on that.
We don't know where Tommy Asu is. He's
spent the whole season out injured and had surgery.
Yeah.
Should I take the Ten Hag route here?
But basically, my point is basically, if it may feel like that from the outside looking in from an opposition point of view, it does feel like that at this moment in time because we've got so much here, there, and everywhere going wrong. Anything that can go wrong this season has gone wrong. Yeah. And what's more frustrating for us is that City have fallen off this season. This was the season for us to just go, and our luck hasn't gone that way.
Yeah.
I think we've definitely missed a bit of luck. You definitely need a bit of luck, and I don't think we've had any. I think
we had luck in 2005.
Yeah.
As a United fan, right? What I could say is that we had the most injuries in the league, and we still won a title, right?
Won the FA Cup last year,
yeah.
So what's stopping Arsenal?
Well, I think we went for everything, and in the end, we could end up with nothing. So maybe it's a prioritizing thing.
Give up the league.
Well, why would you give up the league? You're not giving up the league, are you?
Well, you want us to bend over Liverpool and just go, there you go, and a little bow on top.
I mean, unless you're thinking about focusing on the UCL, but I mean, that's difficult enough.
The thing is, even if you get to that point, you still might not get the players back in time for those games anyway.
But are you going to catch Liverpool?
Well, we have to be there just in case they do slip, right? And I still don't think that we're winning every game.
No.
Yeah, and I don't even think with a fully fit squad we're probably not winning every game.
I think after these 3 games, which is us, the Villa game, City game, and Newcastle game, Arteta has a choice to make. What he's going to prioritize if Liverpool drop points in those games.
I think that ship sailed, doesn't it? Because he doesn't have a choice. There is no choice. The attacking lineup is the attacking lineup. That's it.
I think the crucial game for us as Arsenal fans, I'm sorry, Bearded, I know you're a United fan, but the crucial game for us is probably going to be Chelsea. And that's because of the, if say Sterling finds a little, purple patch of form that gets us through this bit, well, even if that happens, he's not going to be available for Chelsea. That, so we could potentially be down to 2 frontline players when we play there. And, unless we play 4-4-2 and have a blinder or, like 4, I can't count anymore, 4-5-1, then, and then maybe shove Nwaneri up front and he picks off the bone, so to speak, of any chances. That could be the game where we slip up. And we don't necessarily have a good record always against Chelsea either. So, we get some good results, we get some bad results, but I think that's probably the thing that decides where we go. If we have a couple of weeks now where we win the next 5 or 6, we'll be right on Liverpool's tails, and that might be the point where we go on. But maybe I'm being pessimistic here. I just think that's the case.
But maybe as well, that will depend on Liverpool's next 2 fixtures rather than Arsenal's next 2 fixtures, because they play another 2. They play midweek again, don't they?
Next week, against Villa at Villa Park.
So
tasty game.
So then we have a game in hand, right? Because we don't play midweek.
Basically, yeah.
So we would have a game in hand by that point. So It could depend, so long as we beat Leicester. It could depend on what Liverpool do against Wolves and what Liverpool do against Villa as to whether he prioritises something.
Yeah, we would. As of next Wednesday, they would have played a game more than us, so you would have a game in hand over them for some reason.
Well, yeah, because we don't play midweek.
No, but I'm saying for some reason my point is they're playing a game ahead of us all of a sudden, which is usually, I don't know.
Yeah, but it balances out when they get to the cup games, doesn't it?
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So they get to the cup game, they play, and we don't play.
Yeah, cup final. Yeah.
So then we play the other fixture.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
I think with that sort of thing, you're right. You know, it's going to depend on what happens at Villa, what happens at Wolves. But I think Liverpool dropping any points at the moment is instantly going to pile more pressure on them. I kind of want to see a scenario actually with all of the cup games and everything where we had it when we lost the title to City the first time round, where we were playing every Sunday and they were playing every Saturday, and no matter what happens, the pressure was hyped on our players every single week.
Yeah,
I mean, if that happened to us, or we were playing every Saturday and Liverpool were playing every Sunday, we have an opportunity to put pressure on. But it's all if fans and buts until they slip up, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Rashford is going to do you guys a favor.
Fingers crossed. Ollie Watkins is an Arsenal fan.
You reckon he's going to beat Liverpool? He's going to score against Liverpool?
Motivation. He's a United lad still.
Yeah, he is.
And he's got a point to prove as well. To Ruben.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That said, he's not necessarily going to start the game.
Oh, no, he won't start. He'll come on, but I think he'll have an impact because again, that bit between your teeth. I think Watkins starts. If we're assuming Watkins is available.
I mean, I didn't reckon that much to his cameo against was it Tottenham that he played?
Tottenham in the cup, yeah,
Tottenham in the cup.
He was okay. He did a run at players, but he didn't beat a man really.
He's Rashford at the moment.
But I mean, the Rashford that we know, when he's running in that situation, takes it on his right foot and pokes it in the top corner.
Yeah,
he does that against us all the time.
He's a purple patch merchant, though, isn't he? He plays well.
But he doesn't have to do anything for the whole game, and then he literally just goes and does that. Every time. Every time he plays us, he does that.
I think he plays better when he's in a relationship.
I see that comment on the side that Nana is on the phone. He didn't like what you said. He's on the dial. I can't believe you fat shaming, man. What are you doing?
Oh dear, fat shaming on Anna.
That's the spin-off, isn't
it? There's a Sunday segment after every fuck up.
Only Sunday.
Sunday night, next Sunday night segment. You guarantee United out the way by then. You get all the clips.
You only have to play one day. They can do a rerun every 6 days, and it still get a different one. Oh God! Right? Okay. Well, I think we kind of exhausted our conversation from that point of view. So yeah, appreciate everybody coming on. Appreciate everybody watching. If you are still here, please make sure to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification. You'll see when we go live next. We're going to be doing Tuesdays and Thursdays going forwards when there's more fixtures. So next week we were doing Tuesday and Thursday. But yeah, we're going to sign off now. Ryan, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me on. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, welcome. Bearded, thanks for coming on, mate.
Come on, anytime.
Oh, no, thanks you. Underrated, thanks for coming on, man. Yeah, thanks for coming on, Underrated. Yeah, but yeah, I'm Sparks as well. This is Footy Corner, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Later.
Last one. I've lost my cone. I lost it.